Sunderland.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr.
Great. The question, I've got to say this, the question is that this House has considered children and young people's mental health. My apologies. Second chance for you, James. Off you go.
I might need it. Thank you, Sir Gary, and a great pleasure to serve under you as Chair. As we know, the Timpson Review was commissioned by the Secretary of State for Education in March 2018 and published in May 2019. There's no need today to go into the detail of what was an excellent document and on public record, but I do want to highlight some key factors, if I may. From 1998 to 2013, there was a downward trend of school exclusions, which dropped to a rate of 0.06% for the 2012-2013 school year. However, in recent years, this level has been increasing. And for example, in 2017-2018, there were almost 8,000 permanent exclusions in state-funded schools across all levels, a rate of 0.1%. The reasons for this are multifarious, including persistent disruptive behaviour, physical assault against a pupil, and physical assault against an adult. But most intriguingly, the exclusion rates for SEN children are much higher than average. So with overall permanent exclusion set at 0.1% in 2016-17, it was actually 0.35% over the same period, 3.5 times the problem. So indeed, Houston, we have a problem. Mr. Chairman, we're not here today to admire our challenges, but to solve them. So what do we need to do? Well, the SEN review is expected imminently, but this is a matter for both DFE and DHSC. First of all, we need to invest in our SEN children as never before. Yes, many are disruptive, hard to handle, and come with a range of issues. But what about their energy, skills and strengths too? If we can harness these to best effect, just think of the rewards. And why might this work? Well, by getting to the root cause of their issues, providing focused intervention, and by allowing them to fulfil their potential in the right environment, rather than simply being excluded because it's all too difficult, we can get the best out of them. And by providing the right care in the right settings, we can give them the focus they need to be productive, employable, law-abiding and responsible citizens, because we've addressed the root causes. Our prisons are sadly full of people who have made the wrong decisions or acted impulsively because they were not diagnosed at an early age. So let's invest in all of our kids to give them the best possible chance. So I'd like to see every single local authority in the UK comprehensively review their SEN provision so that it becomes available in every area. In other words, every authority providing specialist in-house provision. I believe that specialist and dedicated settings are the way forward, and I want to see more dedicated schools established for SEN. Why? Because it's not fair on the 95% of children in a class if 5% of children are disruptive. And nor is it fair on the 5% to be constantly out on a limb, feeling the odd one out or being excluded. So let's separate the children out where we need to, but also be free to adopt hybrid models where access to mainstream will still be beneficial. It's about a needs-must basis, individually streamlined to each child. And why is it necessary for local authorities to do this? Well, because it's the right thing to do. Our children are closer to home and enjoy the normality that they crave. It will also save on the exorbitant costs of providing taxi fares to schools a long distance away, and perhaps even save the huge school fees for private education when this should be provided in the state sector. We also must give our teachers better training in identifying special needs and then processing EHCPs. I know of many families who are simply swept under the carpet, waiting for years for someone to take them seriously and for years for an EHCP to be authorised. And this cannot be a golden ticket for the lucky few, but a rightful passport for every child to get what they need. So let's please speed up the EHCP process and let's hold head teachers and councils to account. And please don't get me started on local councils who fail to acknowledge hidden disabilities or autism in applications for blue badges, a whole different issue. And lastly, our child and adolescent mental health services across the UK need 20,000 volts put straight through them. For families to be waiting up to 2.5 years for a consultation is not only immoral, it's also frankly inept. And the irony will not have escaped anybody that a GP cannot prescribe medication for ASD, ADHD, ODD, Asperger's or any other mental health condition without a diagnosis from CAMHS. and therein lies the vicious circle. Children desperate to mitigate their symptoms, parents and teachers desperate for solace, GPs unable to prescribe without a diagnosis, and CAMs unable to see these children, in some cases, for up to 2.5 years. It is a national disgrace, but we can now solve it. To conclude, I commend the Timpson Review. So let's get diagnosing, let's get treating, let's get spending, and let's give all of our children the future that they deserve in specialist educational settings that give them a chance. Thank you.